Apocalypses, a show where we explore the collapse of society by playing fun tabletop role-playing games. I'm your host, Stu Masterson, and I'm joined by two off-brand popsicles sold from an ice cream truck.
I want to be the Sonic that has one gumball up here, one gumball eye up like 2 inches above where the eye should be, and one gumball eye 2 inches below.
And the gumball is also the hardest substance ever created.
Yeah, it's like made of like literal rocks.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely demented Spider-Man.
He has no special candy on him though, right? He's just
He's got gumdrop eyes.
Okay.
Or gumball eyes.
Cannot imagine how Spider-Man would have gumball eyes.
Oh, you haven't seen demented ice cream Spider-Man?
No.
Oh my god. You have to Google demented ice cream Spider-Man.
I already am.
I want to know whose idea it was to put gumballs of all things on ice cream. Why do I want gumballs on my ice cream? I don't want to chew and eat gum while also trying to eat ice cream.
Yeah, that is one of the worst combinations.
Who decided that was what we were going to do?
The problem is nothing's really good on ice cream. All of this, unless it's like a melty chocolate or a caramel or something like that.
Yeah,
it's
that's
all
true.
Any candy that you think is a good idea. Like I used to always, when I was a kid, put gummy worms on my ice cream or gummy bears, and they become also inedible.
They become rocks.
Yes, slightly wet cement. Concrete baby.
I would make just like these terrible hodgepodges whenever they had like the, when you're in elementary school, they had Sunday
day. Yeah.
Yeah. And they just have all those weird things. I'd basically put everything on there, and it was mostly topping and not ice cream.
The only good topping, whipped cream.
Whipped cream.
Love it.
You say it like Stewie Griffin from Family Guy.
I'm the original Stu.
Which is a running joke in Family Guy. Why did you say it like that?
I've never heard of this football-shaped baby before. This is copyright infringement on my character.
The allegations are damning.
This week, we have a BuzzFeed Presents Apocalypse. And this week, I'm going to ask, and I'm going to use this against you during our podcast, just so you know. I decided that's a good thing I should start doing more. So this question is, what is something that you have like a tremendous overconfidence in based on like no actual thing to back it up? Like, and you can't use this one Brady/book because I'm going to use it as an example, but like your knowledge of computer science would be like something like that, but I want a different one.
Meaning my knowledge of computer science, that
book's theory that he knows what he's talking about with computers, despite that being proven wrong repeatedly.
Oh, yeah. Wait, we didn't introduce ourselves.
Well, then do it.
We just said what kind of ice cream we would be.
What do you want me to do about this?
I'm interrupting you so we can do it.
Hey, everybody. I am Sonic the Hedgehog ice cream cone with one gumball eye 2 inches above his eye, where its eye is supposed to be, and the other gumball eye 2 inches below where the eye is supposed to be. And I play Ocean, a gentle giant who is having a psychic connection with some pretty cool robots, which is not what book's about.
And who are you?
Hey everybody, I'm Brady. I'm also the Marvel branded Spider-Man ice cream with 2 gumball eyes. He is demented. And I play Book McCready, okay, should I not introduce my new first impression?
No, you can.
The cold and staring brain picker.
What?
Book's coming back as a different playbook, baby. He got shot through the lungs and now he's weird looking.
What is this?
Exciting. I'm excited for this. This is our first new playbook we've ever had here in Oops All Apocalypse history.
I'm a little jealous, honestly, because we were before we were recording, we were all going through helping him build his new book. And man, you've got now more abilities than I do. I need to get Ocean killed so I can get a new playbook and have room to grow as a character profile, like a build again.
Yeah, you got to die more.
You've made it too hard for you to die.
It's because I picked... Oh, that's scary looking. Brady is showing us a picture of demented Spider-Man.
The thing that I'm learning, though, is it's not off-brand. You said off-brand popsicles, but it's apparently Marvel branded.
Fascinating.
You were doing a BuzzFeed Presents Apocalypse.
Since I was interrupted with your introductions, I'll repeat. And you guys were really just stalling for time to be able to come up with a really good answer, so I'm excited to hear it. But I want to hear, what's something that Book and Ocean are just like unfoundedly overconfident in? It doesn't have to be like a big thing, but just like, what is something that they're like, oh yeah, I could do this, despite probably never having done it or not having those specific skill sets?
I've got a good one for Ocean.
Learn who you're playing, dude.
We've only been playing for 64 episodes.
So bad. But I think Ocean has an undue amount of confidence in his ability to cook.
Ooh, I can see that.
I think he believes he has a very refined palate. And despite never having cooked before, I think he probably thinks he could make some pretty good stuff. I don't think Ocean has ever actually cooked, though. I don't really think you do that very often, besides just like grilling meat and open cans.
Yeah, you've reheated a lot of stuff, but that's interesting, and I'm excited for you to get an opportunity to test that out.
He doesn't like most of the foods that we've had in this episode, this series. Most of the time when food's brought up, Ocean's like, that doesn't look very appealing. So I see him being a little snobbish with the food he eats and thinks he can do better.
I get that.
I think Book is super overconfident in like his what's the word? Hold on. I need to Google something.
Intelligence.
No.
Confidence.
Looks.
Friendliness. Smell.
Book is super overconfident in his etiquette.
Ooh.
I think that Book thinks like because he's read a lot of books and because like he was raised with good manners, I think that he thinks he could function in high society or could like, has really good etiquette and like, but like really he's just a weirdo who lives in a cave, like
I can't wait for you to get stolen by Faye.
Like
great.
He says please, but like he doesn't know what how to actually handle himself in public. Like he's not a social person, so he's very incorrect about his ability to function in an actual society.
Is it just like a blind spot, you think, or does he actually think everyone else is acting wrong? Or does he just not pick up on that?
Well, I don't think he has any good examples of how people, like, I think everyone is acting wrong, but he also thinks he's acting right, if that makes sense. So I guess it's more of a blind spot.
My overconfidence spot, I have a lot of confidence spots, but I think mine is, I feel like I could just write a book like tomorrow. Like someone could be like, hey, here's an advance, go write a great book. And I'd be like, sure thing. Gotcha.
I feel like a lot of people feel that way.
I haven't done like long form writing in like 10 years.
Yeah. I used to write all the damn time, but I have not written since college.
You wanted to make movies.
I know. And I wanted to write books and all this stuff.
We should the three of us should take a year off of work and we should each write a book and see who sells the best.
Well, we have a super secret project that it's going to take a lot of writing, so we'll get some good firsthand experience on if I can write an entire book.
Yeah, that's actually true. That's actually really true.
But yeah, I've that complete overconfidence where if someone offered me a contract to do that, I'd probably be like, absolutely, and just fail miserably in a few months.
All right, we should record podcasts now.
This is what we're doing right now. You mean we should go back to the action? Is that what you're recommending? Last episode, you guys broke into the room that was housing the great protector gods of the Boxcar Children, which are also a pair of flight suits. There used to be a triplet of them until Book's mother stole one, but you tried to break into there and throw rocks at them so you could become at least temporary members of the Boxcar Children, which would prohibit them from incarcerating/killing you intentionally. Ocean successfully hurled a rock at one, which basically means he is a member of the Boxcar Children. Book ran up to them, and instead of taking the easy way out of throwing a rock, he decided to flip between the legs of one and then ride it like a stallion before he brought his sword down on top of its helm, which worked great until he got laser beamed through the lung holes by the other one. So we ended last episode with Book collapsing to the ground and his vision fading and him being unable to collect his breath. So I don't really want to play through this next 4 minutes of what happens because I don't think it's going to be too interesting. So I think we should kind of zoom forward with it and get just little snippets of scenes of what's going on. So I'm going to just ask you guys some questions and then I'll describe what's happening as it's going on.
Let's do it. I like it.
So, Book, you feel your head clunk against the ground and your vision's starting to black out. And just no matter what you do, you just can't breathe. You hear some laser beams and then you feel definitely Ocean's hands on you. Ocean, what would you say to him? What would you be trying to do as you get to him?
So when Ocean sees this, he immediately runs over to him and he puts his hand and is like, Book, and starts shaking him. And he tries to use healing touch. Yeah, he tries to use healing touch to try and see if there's anything he can do.
Book, you feel this warmth deep in your chest, and it does feel nice. And you hear the comforting tones of Ocean, but even as it seems like you're getting healed up inside, there's just no air inside, and you try to take a breath and just nothing happens, and your vision keeps fading as you're shaken and shaken by Ocean, and then your vision goes black. Your vision kind of fades back in for just a second, and you can tell you're being moved briskly down some hallway. You just see lights kind of flashing above you as one after the next goes and goes, and you hear a voice that you are surprised to hear. Who is it?
What?
You hear a voice that you're surprised to hear.
Like a person?
Probably. That's most of the stuff that has voices.
Like someone I recognize?
Yeah.
It's my dad.
As you're getting dragged and these lights are just flashing above you, trying to like turn your head and look, but something's kind of holding it in place. You can tell there's a flurry of people around you, but you just hear this like kind of soft echoing. Buck, come on, stay with me, Buck. Come on, you can do this. You can do this. But you, no matter how hard you try to like look up and go towards that voice, you can't, and your vision again just fades out. Last time it was like almost a like sudden just like transportation. It was like you blacked out and then came to and you're in this new room. This time it feels like there's hours and hours or days of time that pass, and it is not a restful sleep. You're constantly hearing these malevolent whispers just filling your brain and just saying, you can tell they're like demeaning, aggressive statements against you, but you just cannot pick out what any of them are. It's like you're in the middle of a cafeteria and everyone in it in high school is just insulting you, and it just is unending. Give me a read a situation.
Okay, here we go. I rolled 2 6s plus 3, 15.
Ask me 3 questions.
Okay, question 1, is my dad here?
It's not an option.
I'm just kidding. Question 1 is, who's in control here? Question 2, what poses the biggest threat to me? Question 3, what represents the best opportunity for me to survive?
You are just in this darkness with this cacophony of voices surrounding you, and it seems like they're trying to kind of rise up and engulf you. Anything you try to do to like distract yourself from it, it only lasts for a moment, and it seems like it's getting louder and more encompassing. Despite that, you still can't pick out what they're saying, and you know that this is a threat to you. Whatever is roiling in your brain right now is trying to fully consume you. But you get this sense that despite that, there's a part of you as you remain focused and as you're trying to search around for anything, even though it's just all darkness everywhere, you kind of feel like you still have control over what happens here. You are able to get away from this, and you notice just this tiny pinprick of light, and as it comes more and more into focus, you recognize a wolf of the maelstrom. It looks just like the ones that were investigating Ocean that one time when he was kind of unconscious. It's still in its wolf form, but as you get closer and closer, just like back then, it kind of peels out of the mouth, and you see this very humanoid form step up and beckon you closer to it.
What else do I see? Is that all I see?
That is the only light around you. Behind you, there's just this growing cacophony of sound, but you were not really seeing much.
Then I step toward it, because the wolves, they did help me once when I died before, and I'm dying again, so I step towards it.
As you get closer, you can kind of see into this cloud. If anyone can't remember from like 56 episodes ago when I described them, they have this kind of unforming head and face that doesn't really have any normal features on it. And as you look into it, you see what looks to be a little microcosm of some room that's kind of reflected in that face. And it looks like a room with a hospital bed. You recognize yourself laying on it. There's all sorts of apparatuses hooked up to you. Right now you see Ocean sleeping in the corner on an uncomfortable chair, and you see standing over top of you looking down another wolf of the maelstrom, just looking right into your face with its hands on your shoulders. You feel it kind of drawing you back in towards your body.
If I move like my hand in my separate body, in my mind body, does my hand move in on my regular body that I'm looking at?
You move it, and it's like you're just under 1,000 pounds of weighted blankets. Like you feel yourself kind of moving against something, but it's not able to go in that direction. It's like you're just being weighed down.
Okay. Then yeah, I wanna swim towards my body, but I want to see if I can catch a glimpse of like the face of the wolf leaning over me.
You push forward in some across the universe ass view, getting closer to your body there, and eventually the light of the room just overtakes you, and there's just a split second of white blindness, where then when your eyes open back up, you're laying in a bed. There's no wolf of the maelstrom over you. There's beeps and boops all around you, like you're hooked up to a machine that seems to be measuring your heart rate. What do you look like right now?
Okay.
We're super fucked up. You've been in a hospital for a bit now.
Book does look super fucked up. I think he has like a bandage over one of his eyes, like wrapped around his head and then cutting across his left eye, kind of like an eye patch, but made out of bandages. I think probably one of my Book's eyes popped from the effort of trying to breathe.
Gross.
And I think his entire torso is also wrapped in bandages, but otherwise like so he's like kind of a reverse Scooby-Doo mummy. You know how like the Scooby-Doo mummies, they're kind of, the bandages are kind of falling off the arms and stuff. Oh wait, no, I guess that means he is a Scooby-Doo mummy. His arms and legs are fine, but his head and his torso are like completely mummified right now.
A little alarm starts going off on one of your machines, and a few seconds later, a door opens and in walks someone dressed like a doctor. You probably were a little hesitant to trust most of the medical attention of the boxcar children before this, because you did see that one dude set up who was just kind of lopping off arms and whatnot when you first came in here, if you recall that.
I do recall that.
This looks like a much better setup, and she looks much more professional than that guy. And she goes, "Hello, I'm Dr. Arnold Palmer, and you're very lucky to be with us today."
Where am I?
You're still in the Baffles. You're in our defense factory here. You have a lot of people that care about you, and I promise they like just stepped out to get some food. They'll all be back.
I don't think Book says anything.
She looks at some little dials. She changes some things. She taps on your knee for some reason, and then she walks out. And then, Ocean, where were you at? What were you doing during the last few hours here? It's been, to give you more context, it's probably been like 3 or 4 days total.
Okay. So,
Power armor kicks open the door.
no. So I think Ocean has been, with his medical training, has been trying his absolute best to assist the medical people that have been helping Book here. So that's kind of how I see that. He's spent a good portion of the time trying to be as hands-on as possible, just so he doesn't feel useless. But right now, I think he probably is out getting food, like you were saying.
Crashy runs up to you, Ocean, while you're eating in some large cafeteria. There's a bunch of boxcar children here. The food's actually pretty good. It's mostly these meals that are just like pre-sealed and heated up, though. But you pull this metal top off of it, but the food inside, pretty tasty. You hear Crashy run up and go, Ocean, Book's awake, Book's back.
Oh shit, really?
Yeah, come on, let's go.
Okay, Ocean heads over.
He takes your food as you run past him and starts scarfing it down.
Fucker.
A few minutes later, you run in there and you push open the door and you see Book laying, not looking much different than he did last time you were in here, but his eyes are open and he seems to be breathing on his own for the first time. You know, the last few days, it's been mostly machines working on him, but they were trying some weird science. How do you feel about, I guess, the sciencey shit that they were trying to do to him to keep him alive? So stuff that would be like his bionic eye or weird apparatus to keep his lungs working. Would you have been trying to like help out with that? Or you've been like, I know medicine. This is weird.
He would try, because he also has a background with like tinkering and making stuff. But I suspect that the level of tech that they're dealing with here is probably far beyond than what he could feasibly assist with, because his tinkering and building and engineering stuff is usually just with scraps and makeshift equipment. It's not with high tech computer robots and whatnot.
Okay.
So I think he'd feel a little uncomfortable, but he would recognize that this is probably the only option at this point with how extensive his wounds are.
That makes sense.
I think when Ocean walks in, Book was unwrapping his head bandage and is holding like a handheld mirror to see what his face looks like now.
What does your face look like now?
I think one of his, I decided his eye didn't pop. His eye got like superheated by laser stuff. And so like, I think his left eyelid is gone. And there's just like a glass, semi-robotic eye in his left eye socket, but it's like always open.
Oof.
Disgusting. Wonderful.
But I think his like the skin around it's kind of charred, but otherwise his head looks more or less normal.
Crash you skids into the room behind you, and you do catch a quick little grimace on his face as he looks at you, and he goes, "Oh, I'm so happy you're awake. You've missed a lot. How are you feeling?"
Stu, is it like healed, or did I take the bandages off too early?
You probably took it off a little too early, but it's not going to kill
so
you.
It's like oozing. It's oozing a little bit.
Yeah, it's gross.
So I think a Book is using a piece of gauze to like blot his metal eye, his glass metal eye.
I don't know if you're supposed to touch that.
Wait, is Ocean in the room? Is Ocean in the room too?
Ocean's here.
Ocean,
Yeah. Look, how are you feeling?
thank you for sitting with me. I saw you. I appreciate it.
I did everything I could. I know you would have done the same.
Book then turns to Crash you. Am I one of you now?
That is a complicated question, but yes. You and Ocean, you don't have anything to worry about getting thrown back in prison. You're doing great, and you notice that actually Crash you now has not the fancy arm that you described to him, but he does have a prosthetic arm too. This little
Hey, that's good.
gangly, robot-y little looking arm. Doesn't look tremendously effective, and he goes, yeah, a lot of people saw what happened and were really, really jazzed about the whole protector situation. Excalibur opening up like that has never happened before. So you got like a lot of fans actually, and they've been like doing some rituals for you and leaving some offerings and stuff like that.
Excalibur opened up.
Yeah, Excalibur opened up. There's a subset of people here who thinks it belongs to you now.
I just thought I could get my wish better if I hit it.
He goes to the blankets and lifts them up and goes, looks like you got your wish.
Book does not say anything.
But yeah, they've been giving you a bunch of shit, and you look in the corner and there's like candles set up, and there's like a bunch of signs that say like get better soon. There's a bunch of cards that it looks like a big portion of a Hallmark store in the corner there. But then there's just like boxes of ammo and bullets and knives, and it looks like handmade like hammers with nails welded to the end of them, and a bunch of random shit in
At
there.
the top of one of the piles is a like fancy 6-shooter, and I immediately pick it up. I pop out the chamber and I spin it. Is it loaded?
Of course,
Hell yeah.
no safety.
Book is just holding it against his chest. It's his now. It's his new prized weapon.
As you hold that, something in this pile also catches your eye, and you see there's this strange, like about fist-sized sphere of glass that's on a little tiny stand. The stand is not very ornate or anything, but for something about it, it seems important to you.
Okay. So Book has the antique handgun in his right hand, and with his left, he palms the sphere.
As it touches you, it feels warm.
Book brings it to his chest and peers into the orb. He ponders the orb.
You ponder your orb 14 hours later. No, as you look into this orb, it just looks like a glass orb, but you keep thinking you notice like little clouds of something in it. But as you turn it in the light, it seems to disappear. It's like just little flecks of something that disappear.
Flecks of fun. Book tries to sit up.
As you sit up, you realize there's like a lot of weight right around your chestal cavity under these wraps. Like it feels like difficult to move around. Like you're definitely more stiff there. It tremendously hurts still, but you feel like something heavy. And as you punk it, there's definitely some metallic something under these wraps.
Okay, I unwrap my chest wraps, probably also ripping up scabs and stuff, which is cool.
Gross. What's your chest look like?
It's sort of like, you know, where the Winter Soldier, where his shoulder on his metal arm, where the shoulder meets the metal arm. There's some like plates like that, and then there's also just some like copper tubes, like kind of steampunky, sticking out of his back and chest.
Yeah, I gotta let the coolant out, you know.
Yeah.
In comes Papa Woody. He just stands there and smiles at you.
I thought you weren't welcome here, Papa Woody.
What? No, I'm allowed anywhere. They're just not big fans of me here. You know, I kind of lead the boxcar children, like 50-50.
Have you heard anything from Hot Goss or Hot Josh?
Yes, we have had a meeting of the minds, and it's still a little bit up in the air about what we're going to do about this whole here situation. But your guys' arrival and that stunt you pulled back there has won a lot of people over. So I think a lot of the boxcar children are going to look to you for what should be done. I don't know if Hot Goss is fully on board yet.
I'd like to meet with them.
I'm sure we can set something up. Want me to get her like right now?
Can you?
Yeah, I'm basically the leader of at least half of these people, and the good half, not this shitty half in here.
This half saved me.
Yeah, but my half didn't shoot you with a laser. Did you think about that?
I see your point.
I'll be back.
Am I able to sit up?
Yeah, you can sit up now.
Can I put pants on?
Yes, you can put pants on. You can get dressed. Your clothes don't fit like they did before.
Yeah, I don't think Book can put his shirt on, but I think he puts his pants and like his jacket and his boots back on. So he looks exactly the same, except now he's got no shirt on.
Hot.
Yeah.
And also a gross metal chest thing.
Steampunky gross shit poking out from his jacket.
Then a few minutes later, you hear heels clicking. And then you see stepping into the room what has to be Hot Goss, because she looks almost exactly like Hot Josh, but like 5% hotter, 5% older, and also has like a shit ton of military badges on her leather crop top jacket. And she says, I'm so happy that you have woken up and joined us here.
I'm sorry that we lost 4 days.
It is okay. We still have a good amount of time left. I'm told that you are favored by our protectors.
Well, one of them killed me and the other opened for me.
You know, 50-50. That happens.
Sounds like they're undecided.
But Excalibur has chosen you. I don't know what he has chosen you to do. I don't know if this is a sign that you need to like use him to help solve this problem, but we have a few ideas, but we are interested in hearing what you think the best approach is. And I would also like to apologize for Hot Josh. You know how she is.
I learned how she is.
I'm sorry we didn't talk to you first. There was some confusion on who to talk to regarding your leadership.
You should also avoid Papa Woody, she says, and holds her hand up as he finally catches back up and enters the room. He is not very useful from a strategic perspective. Well, I'm going to have to just disagree with you on that one. I think I got the perfect plan for stopping this here water. You know what stops water? Salt. And he holds his eyebrows up really high and looks at everyone one at a time.
Ocean looks at him.
Yeah.
Ocean just kind of goes, where are we going to get all that salt, Papa Woody?
I got all the salt you need right here. And he reaches into his pocket and pulls out one of the like packets of salt that comes with forks, comes with plastic forks. I got dozens of these bad boys holed up, ready to go.
I think the water might come pre-salted, Papa Woody.
Oh shit, it's salt water? I have to go back to the drawing board. It's okay. No bad ideas in brainstorming.
I agree.
Ocean looks at Book and raises an eyebrow when he says no bad ideas, and I agree. I mean, I think the simplest, most straightforward thing we can do here is just take back control of the override system, right? If we can somehow get back and hold of it and prevent it from opening, sever the tower's control over it.
Do you want to mention your mechanical override codes?
Well, they're their mechanical override codes, so not really.
Yeah, you don't have to mention it.
Do you think they'll be mad that we stole them?
Not as mad as drowning would make them.
I think I'll wait until I interpret the override codes.
Okay.
Who was it that Crash you said we needed to talk to about those?
Cookie Crisp's team would be helpful, Hot Goss says. So yeah, I think obviously we would like to stop the doors from opening. if we can find any sort of way to override the override as it is. We've had people look at the software at the terminal and can't figure out any way of doing it.
I don't know what Hot Josh told you, but I think we have 4 things that we should be pursuing simultaneously. The first and foremost is to keep the doors from opening in the first place. But as a backup, we should also be looking into how to divert the water if it does come. And if that doesn't work, we'll need to figure out how to evacuate everyone who's below the doors. But lastly, I think we should also be trying to destroy the tower.
I think it is a wonderful idea to evacuate everyone down here. Get them on out of here. This is a dangerous place now. And I think my salt plan may really help out with that, kind of diverting the water now that I think about it. If it likes the salt, we kind of lead it in a trail to where we want the water to go.
I don't think water works like that, Papa Woody, but
We should start immediately evacuating the defense factory. Get everyone out of here. I got plenty of room, and we got like 10 extra yurts up there. We're good to go.
We just need to figure out how long it would take to get everyone out. And then when we reach that point, that's when we start the evacuation.
Or maybe start it a little early. Give people some time to plan out their days. Maybe they're a little too tired to do something one day, and it's okay to put it off for one more. I think we should just start getting everyone out now.
I think there are resources here we'll need if we're going to redirect the water, especially if we're using salt.
No, we should not do salt.
Book winks, tries to wink, but he only has one working eyelid, so it just looks like he's blinking.
Or are all your blinks winks?
Well, now all of my blinks are winks, but now you can't tell if I'm blinking or winking.
Yes, I think we should count down the days for how long evacuation would be. How about Papa Woody, you start planning out the evacuation and try to figure out where people could be safe within the baffles and give us an accurate timeline for how long that's going to be. Because I'm not too good at the geometry and maths and things. You got a couple people you could spare to kind of help that out? Because yes, of course. I did talk to Hot Josh. I know she's hard to deal with, but she is very smart. And I agree with her when she told me that destroying the tower without thought and plan could be very foolhardy. They may have the only way to be able to stop the doors from opening. They knew how to kick it off. They probably know how to stop it. I think we need to get that information from the tower.
Well, it sounds like either way, we're invading. Or should I say, infiltrating.
Yeah, that sounds a little better. They're pretty dangerous there. It's going to be difficult to do like a full-on attack or anything like that.
so if we're just going to go in and get information, how's the best way to infiltrate this place, you think? I used to work at the tower, and I know that the security there is unmatched.
Yeah, we have never been able to have someone. We've only done observational observation of them. We have not done any infiltrative observation. 0%.
At observational observation, Book goes cross-eyed for a second.
Only distant viewing, nothing up close. We've had people try to break into the tower before. We made tall ladder from one building, it all the way to the other one. Did not work.
You know if they open auditions.
Yes, I'm aware of them. I assumed it was a trap for someone specific.
But is it a trap if you know it's a trap?
Depends on the type of trap, but yeah, usually yes. Still yes would be normal answer. Unless it's like a legal trap. Then if you know about it, you'd probably be able to avoid it.
I'm thinking of setting a counter trap to the trap.
A trap.
Trap them in their own trap.
I would love to observation that. I told people that it's like not a big deal to go to there. There's no reason we should spend extra resources trying to figure out what this open audition is, because I think it's a trap for specific people. But that did not stop some boxcar children from thinking that they're going to be the next Zendaya.
She is Michi.
Yes. I think that we could definitely spare some people, and I can try to push maybe some more intelligent people to help out. I assume you guys are doing some infiltrating yourselves.
Yeah, we'll be up to something. Hot Goss, for the plan of redirecting the water, I had an idea. My parents came here one time in a submersible, and I think that submersible could be very valuable to the people of this stew. I think we could use it to trade them for a piece of technology that we gave them a couple months back. Technology that will allow us to map the rock beneath us and identify where we could redirect the water to. Do you think your people could fix up the submersible for us?
I'm sure that will not be any sort of problem. Is this is near the door?
Yeah, it's in the pool of water.
Yes. Papa Woody, is that fine if I send some people up there to deal with it? I really think my engineers could really solve this problem a lot quicker and more
I
expeditiously.
think your engineers will be needed for the salt investigation, don't you?
Give me a sway someone roll.
Do I get a bonus on that now? Thought I did.
I don't know you. It's going to take me at least 20 more minutes to memorize all of your stats.
It's completely new.
Okay. I don't see anything. Okay, that is a 6, a 3, and a +3, so that's a 12.
Dang.
You're right. There's going to be a lot of work done to make enough salt cannons to fill up the right pathway for the water. I guess I can delegate some of that as long as I have like some oversight, of course, which I then will delegate to one of my new members, Buck McCready here, can oversee the overseeing of the effort. Is that okay with everyone here?
Yeah.
Podcast is nodding her head violently.
Bug is super jazzed. Because that's just, he just basically said he's going to give me, I mean, it's supposed to be for the salt stuff, but he's also basically said that he's going to let us boss some people around, right?
Yeah. Okay, so we'll reconstruct the underwater dirigible. We will map out evacuation routes. That's under Papa Woody's regard. He will come up with salt cannon solution. That leaves infiltration, which it sounds like you two are also taking point on. What do you need from us? And I think we need more information on what exactly we have to get from the tower.
There's one more thing that we should be trying to do. The most important thing. We still have to figure out how to keep the doors from opening in the first place.
Isn't that what the infiltration of the tower is for? To figure out a way to undo what they did?
Yes, but it's also to keep them from keeping us from doing the other things, if that makes sense.
Keeping.
If we keep them busy on their turf, they won't be on yours.
Okay, so you don't need anything else from us. You got that part down.
No, we do need more from you. That's what I said was that we need your people to investigate how to keep the doors from opening. Oh, wait, there's fucking one more thing. I completely forgot about this.
A fifth thing.
Ocean and I... Wait, maybe you can. Okay, there's one more thing that we want to do, and that's to see if we can reach my mom on the surface to get her to activate the pump station so that as another backup scenario, we could hypothetically pump all of the water out from behind the doors so that if they do open, nothing bad happens.
Okay, so problem is my engineering team has to do 3 of these things.
Which 3?
They have to reconstruct dirigible, they have to investigate undoing of door open, and they have to figure out way of communicating surface.
Yes. While we do investigating how to redirect the water, how to infiltrate the tower, and we help with all of those things. Because if you get in touch with my mom, she'll probably want to hear from me.
Yes, but I'm saying I don't know if I have enough people for all 3 of those things at once. Engineering team is not very big. It's mostly Cookie Crisp.
I have some people that'll help. We have something called a Through the Earth communicator. It's back at our hometown, but we have some people that could bring it here, and maybe your people could hook it up in a way that would allow us to talk to the pump station up top.
I think number 1 priority is stopping door from open. So can they focus on that first?
Absolutely.
And then you can go retrieve Through the Earth communication device.
We have a long to-do list of stuff to do.
Yeah, I'm really worried about the number of things you've just said and the amount of time we have.
Well, I think this would be a pretty catastrophic event, so the more backup plans we have, the more prepared we'll be. If even one of those backup plans is successful, we eliminate the risk of destroying your community.
Yes, but sometimes if you have 1 million people do one tiny thing, nothing get done.
You mean 1 million people do 1 million tiny things?
Each one for each person is what I'm saying. If 1 million do 1 million, that would be 1 million things total done, which will always get enough.
Yeah, I understand.
I'm saying 1 million people do one thing each. It doesn't accomplish anything, right? They're like, oh, I've started loading a revolver. I've started putting powder and grenade. I've started turning on the car, and then we're flooded underground.
Yeah, I see what your point is. All right.
I think our biggest priority would be to figure out if we can re-engineer from how they hacked the gate. Perhaps we could just, without even having to go into the tower, if they were able to wirelessly hack the door like they did, why can't we do the reverse?
You mean hack the tower?
We can hack the tower.
You have my computer.
Yes.
Have you analyzed it?
We have read the hard drive, yes. We've copied hard drive.
What about, like, the actions that were taken? I don't even know how they got onto it.
Yes, apparently there was a Wi-Fi connection of some sort.
But I didn't connect anything. Do you think whoever built the computer built a back door into it for the tower?
That is reasonable.
Is there a way that we'd be able to find out?
We can try. That's also Cookie Crisp team though.
Well, whoever built the back door would know how to.
Do you guys have like any things that would be good for exploding? We have a lot of people who explode. We have a lot of people who shoot bullets. We got 6 people who know what a computer is.
Once we get the mapper back, then there'll be a lot of things to explode to redirect the water. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So maybe that'd be a good thing for your engineers to focus on, is rebuilding that dirigible.
Okay, so do that before the door stuff.
Well, we can't really do anything with the door. You said you already looked into it, right? So why don't Ocean Eye look into that? He's good with computers.
Ocean once again looks at Book and raises his eyebrow.
I know you can't read, Ocean, but you type good for some reason.
And he can be your eye, because you have one now. You get the joke?
Book closes his remaining eye, and like he can still see. So he's like,
Yeah.
I don't get the joke.
You have one real eye now.
Oh, right. Thanks.
That one's a tiny robot.
Yeah, where'd you get this? It's pretty cool.
Tiny robot eye room.
Can you access those remotely? Like, let's say I rolled this eye into another room. Would I still see what it's seeing?
It could possibly, depending on charge. It is basically being powered by, I don't know the specifics, so this is a doctor question, but it's being charged by your little movements of juicy part around it. There's like a friction of the juice, and that makes it have energy.
Juice friction.
Juice friction, yes.
That could be handy. All right. Are you good?
I'm good.
Am I, like, free to go?
Yeah, you're a boxcar child now.
No. I mean, like, did the doctor, like, say I'm good?
Oh, you're good enough. It's about to flood in here.
All right.
Book tries to stand up.
Everything hurts.
I have my cane though, right?
Yeah, as you fully stand up, you feel like your rib cage weighs 5 times the amount it should. Like your skin is being pulled down, your muscles are being compressed underneath it. Your guts and stomach are smashed more than they should. There's just this constant weight down on you that you feel like it's going to take quite a while to get used to.
Yeah. So I think Book is like is kind of hunched a little bit now.
Yeah, that definitely helps. Like it repositions it.
He kind of gets
You
it.
find the spot that's the most comfortable to have this extra weight pulling your skin down. It's gross. This is a gross episode. Someone said juice friction earlier.
Yeah, that's you.
I don't like it.
I like it.
Bad episode.
Okay. I gotta write this shit down. This is too much for me to keep track of as a human being.
Yeah, too much for 6 engineers to do in 2 weeks.
Nah, it'll be good. I have a following now, Stu. It'll be good.
I'm wondering if we could get Randy Candy to help us out a little bit because he's the hacky boy. Why don't we have him try hack stuff?
Yeah, I think we should get Randy Candy to look at the laptop to see if Antaglio put in a back door for the box or for the silent to get in, right? Because Randy Candy didn't have the computer, right? That was all Antaglio.
Yes, Randy Candy just had the hard drive,
Okay.
and then he gave it to Intaglio to build the laptop for you.
Okay, I gotta write some stuff.
Yeah,
down.
I think if we can have Randy Candy take a look at the laptop, I think we could possibly just reverse engineer how the tower hacked it to just do the opposite of what they sent it in, right?
Feasible.
I'm just very not for invading the tower.
Any way to avoid going in there.
Ocean just is not ready for that. It thinks that'll go very poorly.
Ocean, you promised.
I just don't think it's time to take it out just yet. Especially not when we don't have the resources. I don't think we're any closer to being able to take them down than we were before coming here.
I mean, our plan was always to use the open audition to get inside. And that open audition seems to line up with when the doors are going to open, right?
That's true, but if the door...
Wait, Stu, that's what we figured out, right? The open audition is gonna happen like a couple days before the door opens.
Yes, not very much before, but a few days.
I think we have time to do what we need to do to get ready before we worry about that.
What about that robot that you got there? Seems to take a liking to you.
I think we'll have to think about it. We promised it to Vesuvius. I don't want to give it to Vesuvius, but I think what we could do is, do you remember that harness I made where he's on my shoulder?
Yeah. Yeah. I remember that.
I think we could maybe hook him up to it so he can control it when one of us isn't inside of it.
I think it's a good idea.
Do you think that's something that you could look at?
Yeah. I promise Vesuvius.
Hotcast, there's one more thing I wanted to talk to you about.
Yes.
Excalibur opened for me,
Yes, I'm well aware.
and I think it could be really useful for the challenges that we face.
Be specific.
I'd like to take it.
How do you think it will help you?
I think that the tower obviously wants those doors open, probably just to take away this threat that is your civilization. It'd be better to have a mobile war suit than a stationary one.
So you're using it to attack the tower.
Yeah, probably. We want to stick our bodiless friend in it or on it.
The RC car.
Yeah, you know him. He's great. He's a nice guy.
He has eaten much of our food.
Where does it go?
No one knows.
Has he really?
Yeah,
We haven't been feeding him all this time. That must be why he's so hungry.
that's cruel.
He has no stomach. What would he do with food? He's powered by a
He
battery.
still has a pancreas.
What?
Yeah.
The pancreas. You would have a pituitary gland.
You would not have your pancreas if you were just a head.
I thought you guys shoved that in his neck. My bad. Yes. So I would like to have a better idea of how you're going to use this suit to attack him. This is one of our projector gods. And it did open up for you. And I know many of my followers would be pleased to see you zoom away with this. But then we are down to one, and your mom's still the last one.
Well,
So the people who aren't bought into you are going to be very upset about this situation, no matter what I say, no matter what you do. So I just want assurances that it is going to help us not be flooded.
I think destroying the tower or using it against the tower will help us both. But I also think that we can come to an agreement where Vesuvius can help protect your town as much as ours. Mutually beneficial for more than just the short term.
Then I'm going to need you to perform a Chaos God ceremony with Vesuvius, knighting him as your emissary within Excalibur.
We'll knight him as a chaos defender.
Excellent. He cannot throw rock, so I don't think he will technically be Chaos Cultist. He will not be a boxcar child, but he can be like your kind of emissary.
We can work out the details once we figure out how to get him in,
Okay.
if you're okay with that.
Smash cut knighting ceremony. You guys are in the hangar. There's a giant metal sheet put around the other protection so it cannot see outside of it. They've set up some podium near Excalibur, who has remained open. It still seems like somewhat active, but it's definitely not in like a sentry patrol mode or whatever it was before. And it's still open. And you look, you guys are in positions of glory right in the middle of the room. Hot Goss is next to you. On the other side is Papa Woody. And the doors open up and Vesuvius is being carried in on whatever those Roman emperor things are, where people hold each of the edges of them, still on his RC car. And everyone erupts into cheer as he gets led up to the podium near you. He's presented to you book to slide off of his car chassis and be input into the rabbit suit.
Okay. First, I draw my cane sword, and I'm gonna knight him a knight of chaos.
Excellent.
Okay. So
Tears are welling up in his eyes.
I draw my cane sword, and I kneel because he's a car, and I touch the cane sword to either side of the car, and I say,
I knight thee, Vesuvius, knight of chaos, defender of the Baffles.
Hell yeah.
and then I slide him off and I stick him in the robot.
You stick him in the robot and he looks a little claustrophobic for a second. He's kind of moving his head around and he goes, okay, no, I think, yep, it's no power. Arms move a little bit, and the arms kind of do a little bit tiny robot dance, just like a little bit of a tiny robot dance.
I nod to I nod to Ocean.
Ocean takes out one of the power cores and takes a look in the back. And I assume, considering that's what Book's parents did, that there's some sort of opening to slot one in.
It looks like it was legitimately made exactly for the same type of power core. Like there's a tubular slot that's a little larger than an armless palmer that you see there's some connection points right at the bottom that seem to line up perfectly with this power core.
He pops that in.
As you push it in, you hear a big and then a as this blue light kind of traces around the whole outside of it, pushing out from that power core. And Vesuvius starts being able to move around. The robot seems to loosen up. He does some kind of stretches like a human would do, like a non-robot would do. And there's a little bit of some like jump jets as he kind of jumps in the air a little bit. And he puts his hands in the air and everyone starts cheering. Second smash cut. You guys are heading back to Hamlet opening.
With Vesuvius.
He's sitting on the trunk weighing down the back tremendously. Just holding on.
Like that my spider's just driving.
Yeah, any small incline, any bump, the back of the spider is grating against it. And you guys can return back to Hamlet opening. Do we want to do end of session moves? He does not care anymore.
We can.
The end of a session, choose a character who knows you better, and you can add +1 to their HX. You can choose up to 2 characters.
Up to 2.
So I'm going to create HX with Crash,
Nice.
I was just about to say the same thing, actually.
and I'm going to give him +1.
Okay. Then I actually think if you guys are both doing that, both of you can put Crash at +2.
Oh, hell yeah.
total with this new +1. Because I feel like you already kind of know him pretty well. So he was probably a +1 before.
And I'm trying to think. I think I want to add one more to fake Vesuvius,
I was going to do the same.
which I guess is Vesuvius now. I need to rename him to just Vesuvius.
Are you satisfied with your place in the world?
No.
Never.
Get +1 XP. Does your scavenge choice still hold true? I think both of yours does, personally.
Yeah, I think so.
+1 more XP. And then end of session moves that you guys have.
I have none. I have only start of session moves.
So I still have my interrogating reality. Choose one of your mysteries. Tell the MC you'd like to mark it true or false. They must choose one of these answers. Go ahead and mark it true, go ahead and mark it false, or for now you better not mark it either way.
I think the mystery of the robots is pretty serious. I don't think Ocean and Book have we haven't really had the chance to talk about the revelations that Ocean learned regarding the robots.
Yeah, you guys should have that discussion.
Yeah, I think we should, because it could be, depending on what you ask, this could be a very telling. So as they're driving back in the car, Ocean turns to Book and says, "So, did you notice anything about those robots? You know, the one that we have in the back here?
I think I connected to the Chaos God.
So you felt it too then?"
It spoke to me.
Ocean nods and says, "It spoke to me too, but it's not just that. It feels fundamentally different than the psychic maelstrom."
I think it is its own kind of psychic maelstrom.
So are they AI? Are they the same kind of things of the administrator of the tower? Are they something different? How long have these things been around?
I don't know, but I think they are at odds with each other.
I would say so. I asked them, "Do we share our wishes? Do we share wishes? Does that mean our wishes don't come true?"
No, no one told you that, at least. And
Okay.
And all the Boxcar children told you their wish.
Yeah, Ocean nods and says, "I asked for its help to take down the tower, and it didn't seem very opposed to that."
I think Book just says,
That's a good wish.
Ocean waits for a second to see if Book will say anything else, but when he realizes that Book is not ready to talk about his wish, he nods and says, "Maybe that's why it was so easy to get Vesuvius in there and bring it over here. I kind of expected it to be a struggle and not want it, but maybe that's why it's so willingly coming with us."
yeah, Book looks over his shoulder. I guess he sees Vesuvius riding the back of the spider.
Yes.
We can't forget that Vesuvius was made by the tower. I know that we seem to have freed him from their influence, or at least blowing his body up did that to themselves, but he has immense power in that suit. We have to make sure it's not used against us.
Well, I'm honestly not too worried. I think it's alive.
The suit?
Your lungs healed immediately.
Yeah.
You think the suit is alive?
I think it is. I think whatever kind of thing controls it is sentient. It seems to choose who it attacks and who it doesn't. It seemed to willingly choose you. You bargained with it when you spoke to it.
Seems to be doing what Vesuvius wants for now.
For now.
You look back and he's fist pounding in the air with every bump. Look what I can do.
Doing the air guitar?
I think for now it's letting whoever pilots it do whatever it wants. But I felt an entity in there when I saw it through the psychic maelstrom. I didn't just see an empty suit with some kind of complicated programming code. What I felt was something.
I think Book is holding his orb under his coat, and I think he pulls it out of his pocket, takes a peek at it.
A pocket ponder?
Yeah.
You're gonna bust
Pocket
out a
ponder?
pocket
He's just
ponder
looking.
right now.
He's just
Okay.
looking at the orb because you said that I felt like a presence in it, right?
Pocket ponder.
Yes. And as you look down into it, that kind of swirly mist, you can see it. It's not just a little fleck like before. You see it almost glowing, even though it looks dark and shadowy colored, and it's in your enclosed pocket right now. You see this darkness glowing inside of it, kind of flicking around.
Nice.
Do you ponder anything specific into the orb?
I want to ask. So Book is looking at his orb, and I think he can feel the presence within it, and he can also remember the presence. He could feel the presence. He can remember the presences that he felt when the robot suits were communicating with him. And Book wants to know if the world's psychic maelstrom is an alien intelligence or will, or potentially multiple intelligences and wills.
With your conversation with Ocean just now, and as you look into you ponder your orb. Sorry, I almost said look into the orb. You never do that.
Ponder.
You only ponder the orb. When you pondered the orb briefly, it seemed to be reacting to the conversation you're having, and you sensed definitely an intelligence, not just in there, but as you were dying and flowing through your consciousness, you know something was intentionally pulling at you. It's an intelligence that is definitely you don't understand it at all, is what I would say. It's a currently completely ununderstood intelligence, but you feel like that psychic maelstrom is some sort of alien intelligence. Thank you so much for listening to this week's episode of Oops, All Apocalypses. If you have any questions or comments on Book's new voice, go ahead and email us those at oops@stu.cool. That's oops@stu.cool. This week, the music and editing was performed by Stu Masterson. Brady McDonough made all the art and logos. And Jacob uses that little tiny torch that some chefs have to make all of our desserts just have a nice little crispy, crunchy top. Love you, bye.
Push-ups were good, dude. I haven't had one of those in 8 million years.
I loved licking that little plastic thing in the bottom.
Oh yeah, that's where all the good stuff was.
I like when it would melt from in between the cardboard and the plastic, so the cardboard would start to disintegrate in your hand.
You could just slurp